Do y'all see how this looks, right? You know, I'm a graphic designer also. Like, everything I do is everything in-house. Comes from my mind and the schooling I've been to as, like, from a kid all the way to, like, as a matter of fact, till I met Scooter, I always take classes for something. Guys, you don't have to go to college. Okay, so this is how 10 years ago, 128:11, right? How my vision was on this side. Which means I could see fine, like kind of okay on this side, but this side was like this. You see how wavy it is? When I look at your face on this side, it was all like this. Like, it's so funny that I found a effect. Well, it's so nice that technology's like this. Because being with Scooter, he got rid of like my whole life. I didn't see pictures of my family at all. They were all pictures of his dead family, all of his mother, his father, us, man, all this shit. That's not even true. And I hadn't seen my family till like last year when he got out of here. I went and got my pictures and saw it. Like myself, my whole life, I hadn't seen it in 10 years. I didn't even, I was listening to all the haters that were around me, the dumb shit they were saying. So it's really nice to be myself again and have everything for myself, because that never happened, because I spoiled that nasty old dirty kid I had. She's always been narcissistic and crazy out of her fucking mind and greedy. That's funny how their greed came and hit me in the head because I decided to keep everything. Hey, that's some shit. Karma is something fucking else, yo. You just gotta let that shit happen. You have no idea how intense this recovery for me was, because they had me drugged up on so many pills. I was on 80. Initially, when I meet Scooter, right, 11 years ago, I needed a hysterectomy, right? That's what they said it was. But everything with me is always extreme. You'll see the pictures when I market this the proper way, as an actress, as a comedian, as a businesswoman, right? There was this big giant thing, like, it was like 30 pounds. What I met before I meet him, it's growing in me, right? And I have the pictures of what I was redesigning this place. What I did now is what I was doing 10 years ago. I had this big blue crystal chandelier. It was massive. It went down to like 4 feet to the ground. He got rid of it when I was in the hospital. He sure did. He said he kept bumping into it. And did what he's doing to this chick love bombing. Well, he ain't doing nothing. What he did for me, because I know how to shop and I'm fly. But he like threw all the fly shit had out and replaced it with like ugly fly shit. Everybody knows me. I've always had a blue leather couch since I was 18. Okay, since I got my first apartment. Well, the first one was black, and I had a fire, and at 20 I got blue from that, blue leather, right? Because I had a bed, a leather. Back then I had that bitch Dirty Neck Jazzy had the bedroom. And me and my boyfriend at the time, we was sleeping in the living room on a pull-out couch. And I was in a group. I had all my furniture picked out. I got my apartment at almost 19, and then that's when all the deaths happened, right? A month later. I moved back here after 4 years, and I moved back here March 3rd, 1987, after being gone for 4 years. Come back, and 1 month later, Arthur gets killed, and then it's on. 2 weeks, my dad, my brother, everybody wilding the fuck out. I was so happy in Staten Island when I was in a group when people feel sorry. I don't feel sorry for me. I don't want to be around my family. They're crazy. Hell no, they're violent. They're always getting into trouble. They're always in jail. They're always shooting somebody, killing somebody. You have no idea how I wanted to be the fuck away from them, and Dirty Neck Jazzy would always bring them back in. I would have never had a career and been educated if I fuck with them. Because when I fuck with them, they always told me to do dumb shit. Like when I got stabbed in Brooklyn when I was Cindy Brady, and the girl stabbed me like several times, and 50 people jumped me. Dave came out with the gun. Those are coming out later. I don't want to talk about that shit right now. But my brother, my fucking crazy brother, David, gives me a 9mm and tells me I have to kill her. You must shoot her back here. Like, why don't you kill her, nigga? I'm your little sister. No, you gotta kill her. See, that's what I told you guys. When you're going through trauma, the fucking underworld can get to you. Only because of your stress, and then your anger levels, and then your ego, and the fact that you're probably sitting next to your rapist and your abuser, and you gotta act like that shit didn't happen, right? You gotta act like that didn't happen. That causes so much trauma. Why do you think the black community has so much crack and fucking AIDS and drug abuse, and the doctors drugging them up? It's like drugs, right? That means the doctors are getting to them more than the street drugs. They can't even afford the street drug because Medicaid pays for their drugs. How about that? That's just a fucked up, broken system of things. Because the fact is, when you're broken, anybody could get to you. Hell, I was broken because I had a greedy daughter, a murder, Maggie. I watched too much shit happen. And in the 90s, when I was all fucked up in the head after 5 murders in a row in 5 years, and then all the ones in between, my whole brain felt like I was like this. Look, see, it's funny how I actually lost my sight and my whole memory was gone. 7 strokes 10 years ago, but like prior to that, raising a NARC kid that likes to steal and get in trouble and lie all the time and make believe people are her friends. She's like a really mental case that has the same exact mental condition that Scooter and Margaret have, because they were all hanging together. Remember when this happened to me? But it's wild how they have the same disorder. They think well, Margaret's different. Margaret and Scooter are very highly intelligent. Margaret is so fucking smart. That's what I loved about Scooter, his brain. That motherfucker is a wizard. He's a crazy wizard, but he's like that typical, serial killer that's really high. Like what's the guy that killed all the people, that killed like 18 people? He's really intelligent. I forgot his name. Not Jeffrey Dahmer. He was dumb and dirty. Well, funny guy, Chuck is dirty, but the other guy was like Fly. But he's not like Fly, but he like Fly shit. When I met him, plus I'm flyer than him, way all across the world, right? So I made him look flyer because I'm a stylist. I used to go to fly restaurants. I'm plugged into Manhattan since I was brother's 101 years old. So I was going to these fancy restaurants. I'm the youngest of 8. So like my siblings didn't fuck with them like that. I had to because I was the youngest. My brothers hung out with each other, right? And my dad hung out with them, but then I hung out with my parents, my mother and my father, Murder Maggie and my dad. And we went to so many beautiful restaurants all over Manhattan, all over Boston. We used to go to Toronto, Polka. We used to go everywhere. But they always used to say I'm spoiled because I was able to go with them, and these motherfuckers was hanging out with each other, running the streets, going to jail, getting in trouble. And none of them graduated from school. I did it at 16 with a rape baby. They had husbands and people helped them. I had no one help me my whole life. That's why it is so wild what Scooter was able to do, because my career is everything to me. Like, because I guess maybe I was a mother so bad, but that's not even it. Because when I was younger, right, I had my own bedroom, kind of like this bedroom. It was really beautiful, but it has so many learning things in it. I had I used to get these flashcards every month with animals. Margaret's kids really love animals. I said, they don't really love them, but they like having them for a minute. And Margaret is so into learning. She made us read the Bible like 75 times a day and make us pronounce those big fucking words. And then I had my telescope looking at biography, because she acts like she's a doctor, I swear to God. She talks about health a lot and you getting diseases. She likes to talk about syphilis and gonorrhea. I mean, this is us growing up. And there's so much sexual shit going on in the house because she's making the vagina sound disgusting and dirty. Bitch, how did you have so many fucking kids? You had 8 kids. All right? But with the Bible, that's funny that Scooter does that with the Bible. He prays, like 50 times a day. He prays every morning for 20 minutes. I was so embarrassed praying with him because I just eat. I pray all day. I talk to God all day. I don't have to fucking bed mic like this. Nah, I don't do that. I don't have to do it. It's retarded. You're doing it because other people are telling you to do that dumb shit. God knows that I love him and that I can talk to him whenever I want. I certainly don't have to say thank you for my food and then go through the rest of my life after that prayer and go jerk off to kids or beat somebody up or shoot somebody or cause a murder. Nah, that's not being real. That shit is being fake. So that was really interesting, man. Like, it's wild how I'm coming out of this. I have none of the drugs in me, none at all. It's wild because now even my back, I suppose because I'm not lifting too much anymore. But when he walked out the door, I had to break away from these fucking crazy doctors. They wouldn't give me the documents I needed. They were seeing this shit, man. They know they're in trouble. She gave me too much. Even in the hospital, they wouldn't give it to me. Scooter brings it in. All of it was like a fucking movie. I swear to God. All of it was like the way you're seeing me right now is what I was looking at when I was seeing people because of my stroke. And I'm cross-eyed like this. And 2 years later, I have another stroke. Thank you, Jesus. It was in the same place. I write my fucking daughter, Dirty Neck Jazzy, and tell her, Jazzy, I can't remember anything again, and I had another stroke. So now I can't see again. The drugs were doing it. The oxycodone, all those opiates, all that. And then my heart is failing because my whole body was breaking down. My skin color started changing. And she didn't even answer me. How about that? All it's saying is, when you're going to die, what's the policy? What about the policy? That's all I'm talking about in writing. For like from 13, 14, 15, and then I just disappear. I don't have any emails, no pictures. The trips, I have a couple of pictures. On some of them, I don't have any of my pictures. I don't remember everything. But if I see a vacation, I go, oh my God, I was there. Me and Scooter, this makes it so interesting and movie ready, honey. Because we went to so many fucking countries and nobody knew I was coming right out the hospital. And then when I got home, and I told him, you gotta leave, we're done, because he did something crazy, right? I'm back in the hospital. You know who saw it? My neighbors saw it, and they wanted to say something. And now we're talking, right, about it. And they said, we wanted to say something, because we know you, man. And it was just wild that they were there every fucking day, or you were, like, dead. And, we didn't know, how you gonna say something to him? He nigga look like he gonna kill you. And he tells you, where's my wife? Do you know that I never was away from him for 10 fucking years? Well, 9 years in 8 months. Since the day I met him, we have never been apart from each other. And that's wild because even Murder Maggie wasn't around me like that as a kid. Because I was in the hospital for 2 years from 9 to 11. I left home at 14. So you figure, and Murder Maggie was always away somewhere. So it was like my dad was home or my brothers, or I was just home alone. Nobody was there when I was a kid. I was by myself, I swear to God. Murder Maggie was with her friends on a plane somewhere shopping. Somewhere she was shopping every fucking day. All day, every day. From the day I was born. Buying furniture, browbeating people. It's very interesting, man, that I relived my whole entire childhood. It would make sense that I had to block all that shit out. It's just too much. And then I meet him 10 years ago, and I lose my memory, and I'm looking at everybody like, it was worse than this. Because if I look at your face, it's melted, but if you go like this, you see how it stretches? That shit was stretchy. It looked like I was in a cartoon. I couldn't look at anybody. So when I met Scooter right out the hospital with Susan groomed me, and she knew me already. She knew I made a lot of money. She knew I was fly, and she knew I was funny, and she knew I had a deadly family. That's it. She did not know about my corporate life. That's the thing. I'm very diverse. People don't know all my shit. Because I have different groups of people I deal with because I make moves in different places. I would have never been successful if I couldn't do it like that. Plus, I get bored. I love learning. Everybody knows I was part of Mensa when I was a kid, and Margaret fucked that up. And that was when I was 7. I was in Mensa, the high IQ club. That's why I blew through school. I was bored in school. I knew all the answers already without even looking. I would just say I know, and that's why I would start talking and socializing and selling shit. So I've been in the game a very long time, and that's good. That's why I'm able to be so resilient and snap back. But the hate I had through Margaret, getting involved with my relationships, I swear to God, I think she fucking told Scooter to use bleach. Because I told you when she killed my dad, I smelled the bleach when they revived him. I'm not ready to talk about that online. I have the stories out, but I want to stay focused. Because if I get into that was like the Artie Bump story that everybody's waiting for has to come out when it's ready. I'm not going to get into that, but she murdered him after we bought $5 million there when he dies at 8 o'clock at night, 8:30 at night, and he gets killed. And not even the next day, Murder Maggie tells me and my dad and my sister to clean the apartment out where he lives for 10 years with his wife and daughter. She called the shots. I'm telling you, she's a religious gangster, yo. She called the shots. We went. I was so uncomfortable. Remember, I just moved back. I'm here like 3 weeks at my own apartment finally with my 3-year-old. Well, Jazzy was 4, and we bring on 5 boxes of money back, and I don't want to go back again because the safe was open, and Cynthia was sitting in my mother's crib with blood all over her shirt, 2 black eyes, and Marcus just sitting there calling the shots. Nobody's holding her. I'm like, what the fuck happened to her? They whipped her ass because she wouldn't open up the safe, and they took her fur coats and died. My sister did this. My sister June that killed herself. They were all crazy out of their mind. I swear to God, June was a kleptomaniac because she was out of her mind and using heroin. But you wouldn't have known if you seen her, right? They were sniffing that shit. I didn't even know you could sniff it back then. Because in the Lower East Side, you see niggas shooting that shit up with the swords. And like you think they shooting it up. But no, all my siblings, with the exception of me, Arthur loved money too much. And he used to sell the drugs. He's one of those drug dealers that don't use his supply. He loved money and power and murder. And then David was just crazed out of his mind because Arthur took care of him and bought him a bunch of presents and gifts. Never bought me shit. And then... and Rozzy, all of them on heroin, sniffing that shit, not shooting it, sniffing it. And I'm in the house as a kid, seeing needles and shit. It's funny how I use B12 needles, and Margaret, I used to give her needles because she was too lazy to get them, her insulin. She had it when I was born. Blamed it on me and said I gave her diabetes, high blood pressure, and cholesterol because she had me at 41 and she didn't want another baby. And she had to throw all the furniture and buy me new stuff. And that's not right. I had my own room. She just like that's what I heard over these 10 years, how much my father spoiled me. And I was like so confused because I didn't remember that she killed him. Like up until recently when I got off all these drugs, just like maybe not even a year ago. I'm just remembering what happened in my life prior to the stroke 10 years ago. It's like really interesting because now I'm at peace with it. Like I'm glad they got me so fucking mad. I'm glad they fucking said you better die. All my friends, Tanya, I'll take it. I'm like, he's gonna kill me though for years. I'm glad they're all still alive though. The last set of people that were there when I was screaming out for help and dying and throwing up blood, and they knew it and they saw me, like we looking at each other, we on in different countries together, we in motherfucking like all these big events, and they saying that's my best friend, Becky's my best friend. They know what they talking about. Tanya does this all the fucking time since I knew her. That's why she became my friend. It's my brother Arthur. All of them. Everybody I know Sharon, Paul, Chuck, the one he told, he told the judge that my brothers are calling. That would be Michael, John, and Arthur, and my dad. And even, he just got married on 1/5/21, right? Of this year. Right? Because he left in 21, you could just say like April. I finally got him off my phone. Well, he signed out and he met this chick online. And a baby, not a girl. It's a little girl, right? A little ignorant, poor girl. And it's just wild that I lived my whole fucking childhood through him as soon as I met him. He started love bombing me, but he would always do things in front of other people. Remember I told you it was a giveaway? That's why I'm so glad I have evidence now, even more evidence of him love bombing and then buying people he don't even know presents. Like he's doing that chick. They all got phones and shit. They like stupid shit. He's saving money. He's smart. He went there. I'm not doing Rebecca no more. Cost too much. I'm gonna go somewhere sick is broke. Poor. I ain't got to buy no tea. I ain't got to buy, and she looks like Rebecca, so that's good. That's perfect. She looks just like her. She doesn't look anything like me, yo. Even with the titty. Anybody can get titties and teeth. I'm a different kind of person. I'm original. You can't duplicate me, motherfuckers. You can't. I'm the stylist. You come to me, come see me. I'll style you, make you look fly. Like yourself, though. Like yourself, not me. Everybody always wanted to do that my whole life. But the obsession with my brother Artie, let me tell you how obsessed niggas are with my brother. You know what Scooter did for 10 years I was with him? He told everybody in my fucking neighborhood that I am Arthur's sister's wife. So basically, I'm Arthur's brother. And they were like, what? We know his brothers. You're not his brother. No, I am because I'm married to Rebecca. And then comes back and tells me, I told these guys. And I said, Chuck, you like a sucker doing that. Talking about another nigga and the nigga's dead. You ain't got to do that. Okay? Don't do that. Don't talk to these niggas at all. I don't talk to them. He opened up my whole life to a neighborhood. And people know not to fuck with me. I might give you shit because you broke. But the 10 years I was with him, everybody was getting me. Everything was in this house. They all have it. My refrigerator, my washer, my dryer, my couches, my lamps, my chandelier, everything that was in here. And then the things that were bought, while I was sick in the hospital for the first 3-4 years, 5, 6, 7, 8, up until 19 when I dumped it all out. It took you have no idea how fast I worked with the broken leg. I try to tell y'all, man, if you're going through something, this is the time to let that fire light up in your ass when you are fucking in shock. Like me, when I was pregnant with that rape baby in a group home, I found out when I was 5 months. I tried to throw myself downstairs. It didn't work. I was too young and it was 2 rapists. I didn't know which one. Okay? And I didn't want to produce my DNA for my family. I did not. They're too crazy and animals. They're the things they've done are so animalistic that what Chuck did is not really a big surprise. I saw all that shit growing up. I actually saw a lot more because they were so direct with it. He's so interesting because I never met a sneaky criminal. The criminals I encountered in my life all were very open with it. They never were writing, and then they certainly ain't gonna write about it. What? There's a code. When you kill somebody, you don't talk about that shit again. You don't talk about it ever again. Those are the people in jail that talk about that shit. Certainly don't talk about crimes and you don't write them down and then you don't keep committing the crimes unless you have a way of making it like you did the time. I don't know. I don't even know how that would work because that's just the ridiculous. I never in my life, in every last person that was involved in what they did to me, my best friends, Tanya Freeman, right? My best friend, Dirty Neck Jazzy's godmother since we were 10. Never bought her shit. She bought a pair of Nikes when she was 6 months old for $30 in the 80s. I bought her kids so much shit throughout my life. It was just a natural thing for me to buy things for people because it was just natural. I read my diary from when I was 18 and going to the Paradise Garage, living in a group home. And I'm visiting my man upstate, Mike, the one I met at the group home when I was 16. Yeah, making a G a week. But by now I'm working and I'm going to the Paradise. This is 1987. I'm having so much fucking fun. I'm living in Staten Island. I have the whole floor to myself. I told you, every time something happens in my life, because I'm a shaman, and I'm very nice, and because what God appointed me to do here on this job, and I do a very good job, he trusts me because he knows I'm good at it, right? I've always had doors open for me through tragedies and obstacles. I'm not kidding you. Like when I moved to Staten Island out of the group home, I moved there because I had been in 47 homes, maiming and blinding bitches that I already had beef with, because when you're in a group home, you kind of follow each other, and I'm very quiet. But if you fuck with me, I'm going to rip your face off because I had so much training when I was a kid. For my dad and my brothers. Remember, I grew up with killers. I'm the only one in the house with 4 boys and my dad. And Margaret, like I said, he's all too busy shopping. So they would train me daily on how to kill somebody. All that shit that took, it was the same shit, yo. I'm not kidding you. It was wild. Because people would fuck with me in school sometime about my eczema. Not too much, but like I said, if my brothers weren't around, they would do some shit. Like I said, they see me when they think I'm weak. Shouldn't fuck with somebody that was raised by killers. And that who the dad loved the fuck out of him. You shouldn't do that. Because you think because my father's not on the earth that he's not going to protect me, or you fucking out of your mind? I laid with his body for 8 hours. 8 hours. You're taking his body, putting it back and forth in the body. I was there, and now I understand why. But now that he's 101, I'm glad he's not on earth, even though I would have taken very good care. And I begged that bitch Margaret, once they got a pulse, to let him live. No, let him go. He's my husband. He's a vegetable. Let him go, and throw him in the ground the next day and throw all his shit out and spend up all the money and buy people gifts. That's what she did. With all that money, she bought all my siblings air conditioners, and including me. And then what she did, right? A Jehovah's Witness gave me all his shit. I had just had an apartment, remember, with everything in it. She gives me a stereo. She gives me all his fucking drug paraphernalia, money machines. Yo, whoever knows me out there, even though all your fucking haters from my past are gone. But if you're peeping in, if you know Hector Cruz, that was my boy, Acid Boy. I love Hector. He bought me off this money machine for $300 back in the 80s. I was selling that shit. What do I want a money machine for? Like, I got a fucking job at Blue Cross and Blue Shield. And I'm raising my daughter, and I'm in school. So what the fuck I want? And I already had everything. So it was like, when she killed him, it was like, damn, 2 weeks later, it was 16 days later, April 10th and April 26th. And she threw her shit out and said, you better decide what you want. So I'm so glad Scooter was spoiling her, because the things I really wanted from my piano that I had, that my parents bought me, well, Margaret bought it because my father would buy whatever she wanted. And she said, Becky's going to learn how to play the piano. I didn't want a piano. You know what I wanted to do? Be a ballerina. She told me, no, your ass is too big and you have eczema. Nobody's going to touch you or let you in. So why do I have a private piano instructor then? That's very rude in my face, by the way. And I'm glad I just had to tell my dad and got rid of him. But I had to go for piano instructors for a whole year. And Arthur and David would come to the piano. It's wild how she sucked my 2 brothers on me, right? When Michael and John didn't bother me too much. Like, they made me do their face and their nails like Scooter did. My brothers worked me to death as a kid. Like I said, I'm a shaman. And if you came in my bedroom, I had the microscope and I had like everything you could use to patch you up for anything, for medicine, for fun, for books, for reading. I just was like so intensely into reading my books. I had like 6 bookcases full of Judy Blume, like Donald. Well, I remember when I left, I got Donald Goines. After I finished school at 16, I used to go to Brooklyn to some technical school for like clerical shit. Like on Fulton Street, and they had all these bookstores, and I would buy every Donald Goines book and read that shit in 5 hours and get to the next one. Couldn't keep my head out of books. Like, I was in a group home, but I didn't pay the girls no mind, because I would look at them like they crazy and say, you got a fucking baby? You worried about a baby's father? You sitting in a fucking group home? Not me. I'm going to be a big star when I grow up. I'm going to be rich, and I'm never going to have to deal with hate again, because I had eczema for so long, and people, it was like it was happening in my house of discrimination, not really outside. But sometimes it did, because you can see it all over my hands, like it looked like a burn. You know, people with eczema don't come outside, first of all, and it's really fucked up, because that's one skin disease that nobody pays no fucking mind. You don't even see eczema commercials. And it's been around for 1 billion years. My father had eczema. I look just like him. You know, when this was going on with my brain injury, everybody's saying, you look like your mother. No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't. Well, you know what? I did at that time, because I looked like the Bride of Chucky with all those bruises and big and fat and bloated. Yeah, I had failing organs and I was dying. That's when I looked like her. I think that's pretty funny, because I tell y'all don't have to get your haters back. They already got back. They're dead already. If you have to hate on somebody and call somebody ugly or stupid, that means you're dead. That means you don't experience joy. Narcs don't feel joy. That's why narcs don't have sex with you. It's funny, because Dirty Nut Jazzy don't fuck her man. She don't fuck her man. And I know, because she lived with a dude named Sean in Brooklyn and didn't fuck him for 5 years. She was just taking his money or whatever. I said, how do you do that? Speak to a nigga, you don't fuck him. Because I don't want to. That's why. Because you can't give joy. You see somebody bust a nut, anybody out there, you got a partner and they're not fucking you, okay? It's because they're a narcissist and you need to get rid of them. Don't worry about what they're into. If they're not into you sexually, or even if they're into you sexually, but they're not looking at you and like being nice after you have sex and you're not getting the whole package deal, then you're being abused, man. You're being abused and ain't never going to change. I knew early on when I got my first boyfriend, Sheppy, who I met in a group home. A group home was amazing. You know why? Because they teach you so much culture. There's a lot of white people that donate money to group homes, especially Catholic homes, That's why I got my first set of veneers. I let them pay for that shit. Hell yeah. I had a gap and little baby teeth right here. And I went, remember, when you're in a group home, you do everything by yourself. That's why it's important to do that shit early. Like I say, people right now starting off doing what I did. That's when I'm 55 and I already know the games of every game. Because I was in it so early. I'm born into it. And in a group home, darling, you go to the hospital by yourself. So Margaret left me in the hospital from 9 to 11 with the eczema and the shingles. Told me nobody could touch me. Then I don't want my other kids getting it, even though they already had it. Michael had it. John had it. They used to come to my room for even here. I have pictures of them only because they're coming here to get rash cream. And it's just so wild how I have always had a healing spa from my bedroom to now. Now it's really fly though. This shit is like a rehab. So I rehabbed that. Lost 160 pounds. Got off all those fucking drugs. And I made the biggest detox shit with 87 salts. Plus I was in Hawaii for the black salt. And like all the traveling we did was so amazing. We did all that traveling because I was studying things. I don't stop. You see me now going to take care. I don't stop. Since I was born, I don't stop. I don't care if I have a fucking injury. That would imply that I have to wait till the injury goes away. Not when I can work on something that will heal it, because now it'll heal somebody else. If I have it, somebody else has it. That's why what he did to me was so amazing. Do you know what sepsis is? I was traveling with a blood clot in my lung. That's like impossible to do with my blood poison. Like he would ease up off it, but my skincare was cleaning it. Thrill Spa was cleaning that shit. You know when I had the stroke, darling, I told you I went on a date. When I went to the hospital, I was making everybody laugh. I swear to God. Because when I had that stroke, my whole brain was emptied out. I'm not kidding. I was sitting right there in the corner with my office freshly done. This used to be my office before I met Scooter. Fly. It was like rocks everywhere. It was great. I have the pictures of leather, green leather. It was beautiful. And out there, I had the big chandelier, and I was like, it was all white, gorgeous. I always do my place over. It was the first time in my whole lifetime that I lived in a crack house. Because after 13, when I got my knee replacement and had to go to a nursing home, well, that was 12. In 11, I had the big surgery with him. As soon as I met him, I had that big thing growing. I had to have 160 stitches to get that shit out, and it was in 2 big buckets. And it had like a head on it with like ears. I know what that was, Dave, alien child, because he's another murderer. Yeah, it was like too big, and it had lumps in it. Like fibroids have lumps, but that shit had a head and ears and twisted like an alien with the eyes twisted. You know, I have tinky eyes. It had like eyes twisted with this weird shape. What kind of like the head I have, right? I have the pictures of it. It's like, it's so deadly I can't put it up. Because you'll be like, what the fuck is that, yo? I just have had so many phenomenal things happen to me. And now that the Guinness Book of Records, I put that shit on hold. They're going to take time to tally that up. I told them, y'all going to take time to tally it up. Good luck. You got to go to Staten Island. You got to check those records. You got to go. I lived in every borough younger. And in Manhattan, where I'm born, I've had about 1 million plus accidents. I got electrocuted here in the train tracks when I was 14. The group home on Broadway, I always wanted to go there because we used to drive. We used to leave the Kingdom Hall. We live on the east side. We used to drive across Houston and go to the west side to all the fly restaurants. And I used to say, I'm going to be in that fucking group home on Broadway and Houston. There used to be a group home near the gas station. And I'll tell you, all I have to do is say I want to do it. And I wound up talking to the social worker. That's where I want to be. And we went there and used to have to cross the 6 train, right, to get to the other side because the train didn't go uptown. It only went downtown. So we used to cross the tracks. There I go saving somebody again. All that shit because I was saving somebody that tripped on the track. And I went back and got him before the train came and my fucking leg hit the fucking 3rd rail. I'm not lying. And I went like this real tight. Oh shit. And then it just released. And everybody looked at me. I've had that happen my whole life. Look at me like, what the fuck? How did that just happen? I don't know. Let's just keep going. And then it's like my whole life. The next thing happened. The next thing happened. Like, I'm not kidding. Like 5 minutes later, the next thing happened. And it never ended up until Scooter. Like right now. Right fucking now. And actually, as I'm sealing the end of my life from my past and was reborn 6 years ago, the cleanup was such a mess. And that was a good cleanup because look what it made me do, man. Look at this beautiful death wall. Look how fucking beautiful that shit is. Like the clutches of life with the angel saving you, and each clutch is what the diversion is. That shit is amazing, yo. I'm glad they took it away because now I went, I researched everything, right? And I forgot what the name of the syndrome is. Like when you become highly skilled at something you might have been before, but then you have a head injury, a massive head injury. For me, it was the medications, the trauma he was causing, all of my past. Before I met him, I had like 85, maybe 100 concussions. Like in 1 year, I had like 30 concussions on that fucking bike because I was driving around really stressing, bugging. Swear to God, everybody know don't fuck with Rebecca, yo. She's out of her fucking mind. I'm not in a bad way, just that, like, don't get on the bike because she's too like, Evil Knievel. She's fearless, and kind of invincible. So if you rock, people don't know if you rock with me, nothing gonna happen to you. I've never been in front of somebody that died from an accident. One time somebody was injured once. The guy that was here, I drove across Houston and the car came 60 miles an hour and hit his side. The whole car tumbled. It went into the bus stop, crushed. They had to take me to the precinct to see who I was. It's, who the fuck are you? Fuck the car, fuck everything. Who the hell are you and why you don't need an ambulance? Like your body, nothing. You even have a bruise. I had a bruise on my head, like a round circle right here, and the windshield was crushed. And I told that nigga to run, and he ran crooked down the street. I don't know what happened to him. But he was alive, right? And it just like never ended, all these accidents. And like I would always get up. But then I didn't think about it because I had something to do the next day. Like the other accidents, I had to go to work the next day. So it was wild to not be able to. Like right now, somebody took me off my game to the point where I have to have all these surgeries, which is good because I'm shedding my past. Like when I met him, I cut his dreads. Those dreads are long, dude. You look crazy with them anyway, but you look better if I style you. And I cut his hair. Plus, I was holding the hair for a minute, but it felt like there was evil energy in it. So it has to go in the garbage because it's from your past. So I'm very much into shedding my past. It's funny how I shed my skin from all the burns. Last time I had burns all over my skin from this mattress. Then I finally figured plastic's not working. Let me get a really triple mattress cover. Still ain't get rid of it. That's the only thing left is this bloody mattress, but I'm going to save it for this evidence because you can see how long I was laying here with the camera on me and the walkie-talkies and the monitors on the wall and under the bed, the microphones, and this shit is crazy, man. So it's just wild, man. My whole life has been, like you see in this video, like that's why I call this shit Planet Blue Haze, because ultimately if you're going through trauma, you're in haze also. It's just that you're caught up in your life and what you're dedicated to, like maybe your job or your children, and you don't know how to break away from that shit. Like I did when I was a kid. I ran away from home. I jumped out the fucking window and I slept on the F train from 42 stops, Parsons Boulevard, all the way into Coney Island, Queens to Brooklyn. Never forget that shit until I could figure out what the fuck I was going to do. Gotta have your back pushed up against the wall. Like I've helped in the past everybody in the world, broken or not broken. That's when you know it's coming from love. When you can help somebody and you are broken and broke, like financially, or you can still give, and no matter how my finances were, I was still able to do things for others, you know. And I know that's why I'm so blessed, because God knows I'm not a selfish person and I obey his order. Like I said, y'all can still have fun. All these masks everybody wears, and now that I've seen this shit with him, with the Bible, Margaret telling him what to do and he's buying her stuff. I am so glad I have evidence now, because he's online buying this crazy girl stuff and her family stuff, and she's showing it all off. You can't take it all. I already have copies of it, and so does the other people that need to have it. So you can't take it back. And like, I meant to tell y'all, do you know what he said in his comment? Like, she only put one picture up. It looks like a scam. You can tell it's a scam. Like, there's no pictures of him on your site. Then you're buying all the gifts, and he's not even around you, right? But he says to her, "My dear wife, nobody's ever did this for me before." He said, "Nobody ever did this before. You made me feel so much better." That's the answer to your brand new, beautiful, gorgeous young bride? Sounds like she did you a favor, because she did. She made you look normal again. Not just regular normal. She accepted your gifts to make her look like she's not a child anymore. A poor child, too. And elevate her to a level where everybody's going to accept that you a badass nigga walking down the street looking like a prostitute. It's like very strange, but that's what he does, blow up your brain and fucks his own shit up. All narcs are delusional, I told you. It's so fucking delusional. And the older they get, the more delusional they are. Because they're not in jail for their crimes. Like, not a physical jail. You know what kind of jail they're in? A mental jail, which is the best jail to be. Because they're so paranoid and they're so scared that they eventually self-destruct. Their antics kill them. And they leave evidence because like for him, I know why he's leaving evidence. He's tired. Wrong. He knows what he's doing that is so intensely wrong. Like, this dude takes all these penis hardness because what he's looking at is so unnatural that he has to force himself to get a hard-on, an erection. Why you take so many 87 penis lengthers when you don't fuck nobody? Oh, because you're fucking the computer. That's like, he can't disconnect from the madman in him. And I swear to God, I spent 10 years with him. Nobody ever spent 10 years with me, and nobody ever spent 10 years with him. And it was by force, but it still happened, and I made the best thing out of it because I learned so much about myself and my tolerance level and how much God really loves me And he's just so intelligent. Like I said, it's a shame if you just take his gifts. If you meet a motherfucker that knows how to make a lot of money, if it's illegal or not legal, you can take the gifts, right? That's what I did with Tanya. I gave you a husband, right? Because you was homeless, bitch. Gave you a husband that's a lawyer because I remember we were kids, you want to be a lawyer. You know what I made her do? Go to fucking law school. You ain't gonna pay for it. Go to law school. That's a forever thing. Even though I wouldn't want to be in court arguing all day and wearing them ugly ass clothes. But good, I'm glad I did it. Because now you got to fight all day and you get ready to lose your shit because you got a felony here for stealing food stamps and titty pictures with no implants. Yeah. And you killed me. You have all these 15 letters telling me to die. You're going to take the dog when I die. We love Chuck. Even though I said your daughters look like sluts and they're 12. Oh, really? Yeah. Okay. And your Jazzy Shagama, you're all getting down? Yeah. So your shit is over with. I'm glad the main characters in my murder are fucking still alive. They were 197 in 2019 when I wrote my shit list and all the people on it. I wrote a shit hit list. Right? Because now my son is getting ready to die. All my friends that are close to me telling me, no, I can't get rid of him because he's a good man. And they have gifts from him and all this dumb shit. And from me too. Right? But the main characters are still alive, which is 14 left. That's it. There's only 14 left. It's Dirty Neck Jazzy, her dirty man Mike, the drunk, Mike the dyke, Murder Maggie, she's still on my list even though she's 96, but I have fire for her ass. Scooter the killer dinosaur, Susan with AIDS, right? The one that hooks her brother up with all his wives and then tells him, take this shit, fuck them. She has my first sewing machine. They were taking my stuff, so she has my stuff from the past. I don't want that shit no more. Arthur and David broke that shit. I got that sewing machine for my 6th grade graduation. I had like 80 gifts, right? And they were doing them sewing increases back in the fucking 70s. Margaret commanded them to do it, but they broke my fucking Singer sewing machine. That was like an $800 sewing machine that I never got to use. And I've just been carrying it around because it was an expensive sewing machine when I was 11. I got that shit at 11. Remember? I graduated at 11. I had just got out the hospital and I didn't go to school for 2 years. And I still graduated at 11. 6th grade. I had my graduation picture. That's right. Blew right through school because I'm a highly skilled, intelligent person. Look, the only way to get intelligent is to not stop learning. You have to constantly learn. You can't keep knowing the same shit and be on that program of you go to work, your boss tells you what to do, your boss says, right, tell you what to do, then you come home and your kids and your man, or even if you don't have a man, your aunts and uncles tell you what you should be doing because that's what they're doing. You get caught up in that loser cycle. And then after a while, everybody in your environment is who you are. Like my new boss board I read yesterday, the tape that Scooter took down, whatever, Scooter, he took that shit down. You know, the show I did yesterday, he took it down. Look, I've been dealing with him for 10 years, obsessing. Like if he was here right now, he would have the camera on me and then I would have to have a walkie-talkie right here. And then he has motion detectors against the wall to know where I'm at all times. Remember, I have a brain injury. Everybody I know knows what's going on, but they're telling me this is normal, but I don't care if it's normal. And then you're telling me that the last 2 women you were with, you were taping them. I said, why are you watching Beverly, the man? She's like a dude. What's she gonna fuck another man? Flip Wilson? Because I wanted to make sure she was where she was supposed to be. With your son breastfeeding? Yes. And then the first wife, Annette, he walked in on her and her husband after their part. Like he did to me, taped me sucking a dick. When I wrote him a letter, I told him it's over, and I'm glad I have everything in writing. That's called stalking. That's called obsessive compulsive disorder, and it's called stalking. And then I must lose all my property because I don't want to be with you anymore. It's funny how I knew he was going to do that shit, yo. It took a long time to get rid of him, but he made it so clear over the years. If you ever leave me, I'm going to kill you, actually. But I've had so many death threats on my life that if you want to do it, motherfucker. Do it then. I dare you. So it's wild because at the end, when I was trying to get away, I started buying all this spirit. We bought this shit together initially. Like, I had to buy 80% of the shit that was in here, but 20% of the shit was here. Like, a couple of the walls and the Buddha. Like, I didn't realize I was so high, right, that I didn't get off the drugs right away because he was the one pushing it, and I kept having a surgery. I had a surgery. I haven't had a surgery since he left, all right? 20 stitches in my hand. Look, you can't tell. And then I did my son's funeral. Jazzy wouldn't help. Nobody would help. And then nobody showed up. I kept making food. I made so much chicken and lobsters and shrimp. He didn't pay for it. I didn't care. I was so heartbroken because I was telling him he's going to die. And they wouldn't let me see him. And Margaret lied and said he robbed her and stole her credit card because Scooter has her credit card number. That's how much they were dealing with each other while I'm here dying. They knew about all this violence. Margaret especially, because she was calling every day, talking to him every day. And I'm telling her he's going to kill me. Oh, really? Well, you know what? You should marry him. Because remember, we had the fake marriage. She says, well, I bought 2 beautiful outfits for your wedding, and you didn't even go and get real married. I want you to get really married to him. This is doing all this terrorism. And I said, why don't you marry him? You ain't got no husband. Go marry him. I'm not marrying the motherfucker. He's still going through a divorce, and he doesn't fuck, and he put his dick in a puppet, and he killed his friend, and he's out of his mind. And I can't be around somebody that I'm always throwing up blood when I eat. High or not, I'm the one getting sick, and I can't breathe anymore. So it was wild how narcs leave so much shit around you, right? So they can stay in your life, because they're it's supposed to be part of the cleanup. And it just prolongs and prolongs. That's why you just got to walk away with nothing. If you got to walk away with nothing in life, it's the best thing to walk away. You know what? You're going to walk away with your fucking brain. Always make more money, darling. You'll be so busy cleaning up the mess they made that you won't need anything. I swear to God, you won't. The reason why I'm doing my shows finally now is because now I'm so fucking tired that I have no other choice but to lay down. And I'll have just a few days before I have to start packing my shit and get out of here, which I'm going to do. I take care of business. I'm glad I finally called about Molly, because she has to have a visa, actually. Not a visa, a dog certificate, which is a passport for dogs, but they got to have several that go through countries. And that's happening in a few days. So that'll be done. And then, I'll just be so happy to get out of here, man. Because all I've been doing is fixing the messes that he put me in. And all 3 of them. Murder Maggie, Dirty Net Jazzy, Dirty Titty Tanya. Oh, yeah, Passion. I had gotten him out like 8 years ago. And Passion calls me. It's a bitch I used to dance with back in the 80s. Cindy. She calls me Cindy still, because that's what she knows me as, right? She knows my name, Rebecca. She calls me Cindy. That's what she met me as, right? Cindy for like 10 years. She goes, Rebecca, you need to get that man on. Even though all this just happened, I will have surgery alone. I've had a bunch. I don't need nobody to be around. As a matter of fact, I heal a lot faster because I'm calm and I'm relaxed. I can make my potions and put them and do everything right. And then I had murder. He has nowhere to go. And then the son was registered here for visitation. Even though I told him, if you get the fuck away from your child, I could raise him a lot better. Okay? You know what I just realized? I fucking ordered some food, and I ordered food. Look, I had some chicken finally. I don't order food at all. I hate food that's outside unless I'm going to go to a 5-star restaurant. But they're not even really open anymore. They're not. I'm not kidding. Once COVID closed, that was it. So now it's like chicken places and burger. And then even if you get like Thai food, it's like sticky. I got all that shit for them. I'm just too tired to get up. I'm going to like go to sleep soon. But I'm going to get back on. And I'm probably going to, I have to finish saying what I'm saying. But I have to check my order because it must be either in another apartment downstairs or I got to find out what my fucking food is. All right.